Mindful Life Practice community.
Welcome home, team, to your Monday night 60 minutes slow flow. I was going to say and restore, but we're just doing slow flow tonight. So, bringing any props that you like to support your practice. Like I'll have them optional for use too. So, maybe some blocks, some extra cushion or padding if maybe your knees or some of your joints are tender, and just taking a few moments just to just physically gather the items and the things and gathering yourself on your mat. And to start, I invite you to find a relaxed position, perhaps lying fully down on your back. And as always, I invite you to make this practice entirely your own. So moving more or less, and listening to your body's requests and feedback and cues. And if any position or any transitions cause you pain or tingling or numbness, please feel free to scale back, or find a different pose to find more comfort. And for those of you joining me live, feel free to turn your camera on or off for your personal preference. And if you have to leave the class before it's over, just drop me a line in the chat to let me know that it's safe for you to do so. Once you've found a comfortable shape in which to land and to arrive, perhaps softening the gaze or closing the eyes. You can invite some expansion with each inhale. You're taking a little bit more space on the mat, on the floor. Inviting release and letting go with each exhale. Allowing the body to take space and to claim its space. And allowing the earth beneath you to receive you fully. Turning your attention to your breath, noticing the movements and the ripples caused by each inhale and exhale. Perhaps inspired by the full moon that was this weekend, you can set an intention to release and to receive our practice, the movements, and the suggestions I'll share with you tonight. Perhaps taking a moment to acknowledge maybe how full the month of March has felt, the 1 year mark of our new way of living. It's a month full of movement and activities as we work, as we gather together in the 30-day challenge. Whatever else was resting on your shoulders this month, With your next exhale, just releasing it all into the ground, letting it go. Taking 3 more full breaths in stillness. Whenever you're ready, you can start deepening the breath, letting that breath inspire some gentle movement back into the body. Maybe wiggling the fingers and the toes or rocking the head side to side. Perhaps taking a full body stretch, zipping the legs and circling the arms above you. Doing any movement here that feel nice. So maybe sighing or yawning. Whenever you're ready, maybe with your next exhale, you can bring the knees into chest, curling up into a little ball. And here, finding movement or stillness. Letting your body and your breath guide you. And finding stillness in center. I take a few rounds of breath to draw circles with the knees. So inhaling the knees apart from one another and exhaling them back together. And slowly moving with the breath. Just feeling and see what you're noticing into the body. And switching direction whenever you're ready. Inhaling the knees apart and exhaling them back together. And once you feel balanced, I invite you to bring your limbs up into the air, into dead bug pose, and releasing into the shoulder blades and the pelvis. And taking some slow rotations with the wrists and ankles. As if you're moving underwater, letting the breath guide the movement. Switching direction whenever you're ready. And finding a few breaths into our dead bug. Letting the floor receive us in this different shape. And returning the knees to chest. Curling over to one side. And slowly coming up to find your tabletop shape. Maybe rocking front to back for a few breaths. Awakening and bringing motion into the wrists. Maybe drawing some C shapes with your spine. So inhaling in center and exhaling to curl the tailbone and the top of the head toward the right. Inhaling back to center and exhaling to C shape over to the left. I'm doing this for a few breaths. Finding center in our table whenever we feel balance. Pushing the ground away from us with the hands and knees and the feet. Those can be curled or untucked. We'll take a few rounds of cat and cow. So we'll inhale to curl the tailbone up, shining the heart forward, looking up at the ceiling, and exhaling to round the tailbone down. Taking a few rounds following our own breath. Pausing into center whenever we feel ready. Curling the toes under. You can inhale to lift the knees up for half a breath. And then exhale to elongate the legs, pushing the seats back, finding a reverse V shape, making any movement that feel good here to prepare the body to move even more. You can have a generous bend in the knees and the heels don't need to touch. As long as we're pressing our body away from the ground with all surfaces that touch the mat. Finding one more full breath in our downward dog shape. And with our next exhale, we'll bend and land with the knees onto the floor. And with the next inhale, we can step the right foot between the hands and patting the back knee if necessary. Maybe coming up onto the fingertips, and we can rock front to back. Maybe going around with that right hip. Awakening up our hips further and listening to the feedback of our knees, of our hips. And whenever you're ready, we can anchor into the points of contact with the ground. Inhale to come all the way up with our hands onto our leading leg, anchoring into the ground, growing tall from the pelvis up. Option for the arms to come down or to inhale them up and activate them as we did in table and as we did in downward dog. Pressing into the front big toe mound and watching that front knee start striking the second or third toe. We can take one more inhale here. And exhale to land with the palms straightening the foot. And inhale to curl the toes of the back foot up, lifting the leg. And exhale back into a downward dog. So stepping back. And again, taking any motion or finding stillness. And we'll be here for a few breaths. And finding one more full breath in this shape. And with our next exhale, we'll bend and land with the knees. And inhale to step the left foot between the legs. Be tenting up the fingers and rocking. You're drawing circles around that left hip. And bringing any other motion that your body may be craving here. We'll find our stability here, pressing into the ground with the front foot and the back leg. You can inhale to bring the hands onto the leading leg and taking any variation of your choice, whether it's staying here, arms down, or inhaling the arms up. Take one more inhale here. Exhale to bring the hands down. We'll inhale to lift the back foot and knee up. And then we'll exhale to hike or step all the way to the top of the mat. Bending the knees, folding over the hips. We'll find a forward fold for a few breaths. Maybe hooking the thumbs into the elbows or gently rocking side to side. Letting our breath inspire movement, letting gravity take care of the weight of the torso. And just breathing with the sensations in the lower back and the back of the legs. Releasing the hands. If they were hooked, pressing into the feet. And we'll take a few breaths to slowly rise. Head and neck coming last. Maybe rolling the shoulders and back and down for a few breaths. An option to find stillness right away into your mountain. Or maybe inviting a little bit of qigong here, or like energy moving. So you can start swaying with the hands in front and in back. Giving a gentle tap at the lower back with the back of the hand. Maybe the heel comes up when you twist side to side. Maybe inviting some release and letting go with that movement. And letting the momentum carry us. You can slowly let that come gently back to stillness on its own. And if this feels good, that can be one of the movements to go back to in between series or poses. Maybe just to shake any sensations after we'll be working hard with our legs and bodies. So find the tops of our mats here. And we'll inhale and circle the arms up above. And then we'll exhale to fold over the legs. We'll inhale to halfway lift, tracing the front of the legs, pressing the hands into the legs. We'll stay here for a few breaths, working on our shapes, engaging the core, pressing into the feet, growing tall into the spine and the front of the collarbone. And with our next exhale, we'll release back into our forward fold. You can inhale to plant the hands, step the feet back, and we'll find a plank here for a few breaths. So maybe the feet are apart together, or maybe the knees come down. Here again, we want to press the ground away from us, elongating into the collarbone, opening into the shoulders. You can take one more inhale in this shape. And exhale to slowly find the ground, trying to keep your body into that straight line. And then uncurling the toes, we'll lengthen the legs. Press the tops of the feet and the pelvis into the ground. Hands underneath the shoulders, and we'll inhale to come up into a baby cobra. Again, shining the collarbone, pressing those shoulders away so that we're not rounding, but opening into the shoulders. An option for the hands to come up, so that the strength of this movement comes from the back and the core. We take one more inhale here, and exhale to find the ground. And we can inhale to press ourselves into table or up into push-up, and exhale, curling the toes, finding a reverse fear downward dog. We'll spend 3 full breaths here. With the next inhale, we can bend the knees. And then exhale, take a big step, bring the right foot between the hands. And then we'll land our back foot at 45 degrees, so setting up for our warrior one legs. So pressing into the back outer edge of the foot, the front toe mound. You can inhale, pressing into the legs, coming all the way up. into our warrior one. So you can inhale and activate those arms. And making any adjustments to your stance if it's hard to bring the back heel down, maybe widening or shortening the distance and the width between the legs. Option to stay here. We take one more inhale here and exhale to swing the arms back behind us, interlacing the fingers. You can inhale to press the hands and the palms down, shine the heart forward. And exhale to fold, right shoulder meeting the right knee and letting the arms travel above the back. Taking a full breath here. Rising all the way back with your next inhale, bring the arms up above the head. And then we'll exhale to open into warrior two, bring our arms front to back, and flipping the back edge of the foot parallel to the short edge of the mat. And finding our stance here, maybe adjusting as required, feeling the hips opening away from one another. The front knee again is tracking toward the second or third toe. Option to stay here and work on our foundation or flow for a few breaths. So with our next inhale, we can elongate the front leg, bring the arms and palms together above the head. And exhale to sink back into our warrior two. So inhale to come back up. And exhale to land into warrior two. One last time, we'll inhale to come up. And exhale into warrior two. We'll inhale, straighten the front leg, bring the hands to the waist, and then I'll turn because I'll be facing away from you. And then we'll point the toes of the right foot to face the same direction as the left. So finding our variation of a wide leg. So adjusting the feet as required. And if not, pressing into the feet and the outer edges of the feet. Can inhale for a long spine here. And exhale to fold over the hips. Maybe finding the ground with fingertips, palms, option to stay at 90 degrees, or to exhale further into your fold. And we'll breathe here for a few breaths. So the next inhale, we can come back up into 90 degrees, maybe bring a micro bend or walking the heels closer toward one another, bring the hands to the hips. And with our next inhale, we'll come all the way back up to stand. So we'll turn again with our right foot leading at the front of the mat. And maybe here finding a high lunge. So walking your feet on two different tracks and inhaling the arms up above the head. So feeling the stretch in the front of the left leg. Inhaling here for one more. And exhaling to frame the foot, bring the hands down. You can inhale here for one more breath. And then exhale to step back, finding rest, downward dog, or flowing. So for flowing, we can inhale into plank and exhale to find the ground. Inhaling into baby cobra and exhale to find the ground. We'll press up and back and all meet into downward dog. Preparing to do this onto the other side. So you can find 3 full breaths here in motion or in stillness. With the next inhale, we can look between the hands, bend the knees, and then step the left foot between the hands. Bring the back foot at 45 degrees, preparing your legs to find our warrior one. Pressing into the outer edge of the back foot, pressing into the front toe mound, trusting your legs and inhaling all the way up into our warrior one. And adjusting the width or the length between the legs for the feet. Option to stay or to take one more breath here. And then exhale, we'll swim the hands behind us. And we'll interlace the fingers the awkward way. So taking a second to do that. Inhaling to press the palms down, shining the heart. And exhaling to fold left shoulder toward the left knee, letting the hands and arms travel above. With your next inhale, you can come all the way back up into warrior one, lifting the arms, and exhale to open out into a warrior two. Arms out, front to back. Back edge of the foot, parallel to the short edge. Landing into our legs, opening the hips, long spine. Option to stay here or to flow as we did on the other side. So do this 3 times. We'll inhale to elongate the front leg, bring the arms up above, and exhale to land into our warrior two. Doing 2 more with your own breath. We can inhale to lengthen the front leg. Bring the hands onto the hips. Now we're facing the right side. Bring the toes of the left foot to face the same direction and adjusting as needed to find a wide shape here. Inhaling for a long spine. And exhaling to fold over the legs. Finding the ground. And we'll breathe into our variation of this fold. And from here, with option to play for a few breaths, we can inhale ourselves back into 90-degree shape. Bring the palm of the left hand between or below our face. And then we can inhale to open and twist over to the right. Bring the right arm above us. Pressing into the feet, into the hand. Going tall into a twisted spine. With the next exhale, we can bring the right hand down, trading places with the left. And with our next exhale, twisting and opening toward the left side. Taking one more inhale here. And exhale to find the floor. An option to micro bend to bring the feet closer to each other and bring the hands to the waist. And inhale ourselves back to stand. Then we'll turn to face the front of the mat with the left leg leading. Finding your low lunge here, so bring your feet onto different tracks. Woo! Inhaling your arms up. You can find an inhale here and for a lunge. And exhale to bring the hands down. Inhale here. Exhale to step back to rest or to flow through your vinyasa. Once we've all met into our downward dog, take 3 full breaths here. And with our next inhale, you can look up between the hands, bend the knees. Exhale, take 2 big steps to find the top of the mat. Inhaling and exhaling into a fold. With the next inhale, we can trace the front of the legs, finding our halfway lift, pressing hands into shins, long spine and broad collarbone. And with our next exhale, we'll fold over the legs. With the next inhale, we can come all the way up, circling the arms up above the head. And exhaling, hands through prayer, to heart center, And then back down into our mountain. An option to find stillness, or maybe to groove side to side as we did earlier. And maybe bouncing, releasing any energy. It feels it needs to move. Maybe grabbing a sip of water if you need to. We'll be staying up on our legs for the next little while. Doing a series of balancing postures. It's just working and playing with our legs and with our balance and seeing where our body will take us. And Siobhan, just for you, we'll be doing a few little squats. Tiny little squats. So you can start with the toes together. Maybe there's a little bit of space between the heels, so pressing into our legs. Then we can inhale to circle the arms up above the head. Okay, hands in line with the shoulders. And we can exhale to sit back. So trying to bring that movement, not just in the knees, but in the legs and in the seat. And then trying to keep a long spine so that we're not like folding over, but keeping like from the pelvis up into one straight line and slowly sitting. And we don't have to sit much to feel the work. We take one more inhale here in our chair. And exhale to come to stand and release the arms. Bring the palms at heart center to touch. We'll balance onto our left leg. Bring the toes of the right foot onto the ground. And then opening that right leg and right knee out to the side. So externally rotating that hip to our degree. And then pressing the sole of the foot into the leg. And finding your variation here with your leg. Maybe your foot travels up, pressing leg into foot, foot into leg. And perhaps you grow 3 branches. And dance this imaginary wind. Maybe creating your own melody and rhythm with your voice. Bring the hands back to heart center whenever you're ready, experimenting. And slowly bring the toes of the foot back to touch the ground. And then release the right foot onto the ground. Option to stay in stillness or to shake it out a little bit. Oh, hello, ankles. And then still anchoring into that left leg. We can inhale and bring the right knee up into the air. And then again, externally rotating, bring the right knee out to the right. And bring the outer edge of the right foot onto the left leg, just above the knee. Perhaps staying here to work on our balance, or option to bring the hands together at heart center. And then finding our squat in our left leg. I mean, it's that figure 4 squat. And then just playing. Really finding that point of focus that doesn't move. Just breathing with the sensation in the foot and ankle, in the standing leg, in the open leg. We can inhale to come back up and release the right toes. We can bring the right toes, behind us a little bit. And shaking it out if we need to. And then we'll work into a toppling tree or toward a warrior tree. So trying to keep the hips in line with one another, folding over the left hip. And like elongate that right toes and the right foot and slowly topple over. And trying to picture a straight line between our right toes and the top of our head. Checking in with our hips. Coming back and leaning back in. And then the hands can stay where they are. We can bring the arms out by our sides behind us. And if you want the next foot challenge, you can bring the arms out in front of us. Ah. Then slowly come back up the stand whenever you feel satisfied. And then option to shake, shimmy, or to find stillness into your mountain. And we'll move into the sequence on the other side. So to start, bring the toes back together again, maybe leaving a space between the inner feet and the heels. And inhale the arms up above, hands in line with the shoulders. And then exhale to sit into our chair. And feeling into the feet and the heels. Pressing the knees together. And maybe going a little bit lower than we did in our first chair. Or maybe bobbing. We're just experimenting. How does this one chair feel? What a funny question to ask. It feels like it's not behind me. You can take one more inhale here. And then exhale to come all the way to stand, releasing the arms. Moving the hands at heart center, balancing onto our right foot. Then lift the sole of the left foot up. Externally opening and turning that left knee toward the left side room. Then finding our inner ankle with the foot. And maybe traveling up with that left foot. Pressing foot into leg, leg into foot. Finding our point of focus. Growing tall into the spine and maybe growing branches that can play and dwindle into the wind. Thank you, standing leg. Thank you, standing ankle, for providing support. Whenever you're done, you can bring the hands back, palm to palm at heart center, and sliding the foot down, and releasing that foot onto the floor. Oh. Courage, right leg. We know what's coming. So anchoring into that right leg, we can inhale and bring the left foot up into the air to have room to like open out to the side, then place the outer edge of the foot onto the leg. Maybe we stay here, maybe we take a break. And maybe we inhale for length and exhale to find our chair into the side. Maybe taking full, calm breaths to help our muscle do the work. Take one more inhale here. And exhale to rise. Releasing the foot. Bring the toes behind us and checking in with our hips. And whenever we're ready, we can start toppling into a warrior tree. Maybe we just practice hinging for a few breaths. We find our full version. Bring the arms out, maybe behind us or in front of us. And slowly returning ourselves back to stand. Whenever we're ready, maybe doing one last round of shake or side to side. Thank you, legs. Thank you, breath. And thank you, smile. Maybe all my giggling made you smile too. The work is not completely done, but we'll flow back to find the ground and to do a little bit more work from our prone position. We can step and find the top of the mat, find our mountain. With our next inhale, we'll circle the arms up above the head for the palms to touch. And we'll exhale to fold over the legs. Inhale to find your halfway lift, shining the heart. And exhale to plant the palms. You can inhale to step the feet back. Maybe spending one inhale on a full plank. And exhale to come all the way down to the ground. And here we'll get cozy for a few breaths. So uncurling the toes, pressing the tops of the feet, and anchoring into the pelvis. You can bring or keep the hands underneath the shoulders for the first one. We can inhale ourselves into baby cobra. Spending one more full breath here. With the next exhale, coming all the way back down to the ground. Maybe turning the head to one side. Bring the palms by your side and you can shake. Maybe not shake, but rock into the lower back. And here we'll set up, turning the head to center. And leaving the palms down by our sides. Bring the palms to touch the ground. Anchoring into the feet. And anchoring into our core and our pelvis. With the next inhale, we'll come all the way up into our Superman. So activating the arms and legs. Pushing the toes and the fingers away from us. We'll take one more inhale here. And exhale to find the ground. Maybe switching to the other ear. Maybe shimmying side to side into the lower back and hip. And the next one is optional. You can stay laying down, taking one of the two first versions. Or if not, we can come back with the head to center, flipping the feet together. And here we can interlace the palms, like interlacing the fingers, pressing the palms down the lower back. You can inhale to activate the legs and the core. And exhale to come all the way up. Maybe palms lift, broaden into the collarbone. Feeling that stretch into the shoulders. Taking one more inhale here. And exhale to release and find the ground. Maybe bring the palms underneath the forehead. Resting the forehead here, maybe lifting the feet into the air, letting them fall side to side. We're finding stillness, yogi's choice. Whenever you're ready, we'll move into a little bit of stretching before we come into relaxation. So we can bring the hands underneath the shoulders and lift ourselves up into table. And then we'll bring the knees at the width of the mat, toes uncurled. And we'll exhale and bring the seat toward the heels, finding a wide-legged child's pose. Maybe we stay high or we find the ground with the forehead, maybe rocking the hips and the forehead side to side. And finding center here. We'll raise just high enough so that we can tread that left arm underneath the right arm. So staying low seat onto the heels. And then we can relax and land onto the left shoulder and left side of the face. For what I find to be a comfortable and cozy shoulder stretch. And with our next inhale, And slowly rise, return the left arm in line with the shoulders. Then switching sides, threading the right arm underneath and landing on the right shoulder and right side of the face. With the next inhale, we can slowly rise. Return the right hand with the left. We can come up to our seat, bring the hands closer to us. We can sit and fishtail the feet out from underneath us, and then finding about the middle point of the mat with our seat. And then we'll slowly find the ground with our backs. We can engage the core and hold on to the head and gently roll down to find the ground. And here we can bring the knees into the chest. We're winding down, and so is my mouth. Then we can open the knees and bring them out to be at the width of the shoulders. And then finding our version of happy babies, you can flex the feet and then like lengthen the lower legs toward the ceiling. So soles of the feet toward the ceiling. We can bring our arms out, maybe just to grab onto the ankles or outer edge of the legs. Finding the outer edge of the feet, or bring your peace fingers around our big toes. And here, making sure that we can have a long and relaxed spine grounding into the floor. Maybe rocking side to side or elongating one leg after the other. And just playing here on your own for the next few breaths. You can release the legs, bring the knees back into chest for a little hug. And we'll set up for a gentle twist. We can open our arms out side to side, palms can face up or down. And with the next exhale, we can let the knees fall over to the right. Maybe adjusting the shoulders so we can make contact with the ground. All the way from our right hip to our left shoulder, relaxing into the legs and spine. Maybe letting the head fall over to the left. And we'll breathe here for a few moments. For the next few breaths, really scanning our body and inviting some release into any areas that may be holding unnecessarily so. Whenever you're ready, turning the head to center. And activating the core gently to return the knees to center. And feel free to pause here, readjust the hips, alignment of the spine before letting The knees fall over toward the left and setting up here. Connecting to the ground with that right shoulder. Inviting some release and trusting into your body from head to toe in this shape. And taking 3 more full breaths on this side. And returning everything to center whenever you're ready. If your body is craving a position that wasn't on the menu tonight that would help you relax further, you can take that posture. Whenever you're ready, you can find a position of your choice to integrate your personal practice, whether it's in a comfortable seat, in a comfortable, relaxing pose. Taking a few moments in that shape. Relax the breath. Relax the body. And surrender to the present moment. I'll support you in silence, and I'll bring you back with my voice when it's time to close. Slowly in your senses, bring you back to your mat. Validating the sounds of your space, sound of my voice, and the sound of your breath into your awareness. Noticing the temperature of your space on your skin. Noticing the textures that you've brought with you, and that of the supports beneath you. Deepening the breath slowly, letting it inspire some gentle movement to reawaken your body. Taking as many moments and as many movements as you need to. Find yourself back in a comfortable place. We can come together to close our practice. And once you're there, I invite you to place your palms on top of one another on your heart center. Breathing and experiencing this moment for yourself. Releasing your hands whenever you feel complete. Maybe fluttering the eyes back open. With your gaze and taking a moment to acknowledge all the community members who have co-created this practice tonight. Thank you so much for the gift of your time and the gift of your presence. My name is Marie. It was my honor and pleasure to guide you through this slow flow practice. May you be healthy and well. May you enjoy the rest of your day and night. Thank you so much.